the Cherry Hill East Cougars visiting the Washington Township Minutemen here at Washington Township. Hello everyone, I'm Sean O'Hara. Along with me today is Tad Kosinski. And Tad, this is our first game working together. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be real interesting too. Washington Township too, in case you Jones Intercable fans out there. They just had a game on the other day. And Mr. Kerner had the game of his life out there. Mike Kerner had 3 home runs in that game, one of them a grand slam, 8 RBIs, and he will be pitching today for Washington Township, so we're looking for a lot from him today.
Listening to what Coach John Bush said, of course, John Bush, the manager for Washington Township, Dave Martin, the manager for Cherry Hill East. Both guys are real deans in the baseball world here in South Jersey. But John Bush was saying that he saw that performance by Mike Kerner. He said in 20 years, over 20 years coaching here, he said he has never seen a one-day performance like that.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. As he comes into this game specifically batting .630, but can you just imagine what that must feel like? 3 homers one game. You dive over the fence to grab the ball, and rumor has it he also lined the field before the game. So he's just an outstanding do-it-all kind of athlete out there.
So Mike Kerner is going to be on the mound today for the Minutemen. That's Mike warming up right now as we get a shot there of John Bush, 22 years as manager of the Washington Township Minutemen.
And his record coming into this year was 296 and 165. And 7 Washington Township athletes who played under Coach Bush have went on to sign pro contracts.
There's another guy we're looking at, Tad, that isn't exactly a rookie in South Jersey. That, of course, is Dave Martin, and he has been the manager of Cherry Hill East for quite a while as well.
Over 20 years. He has a record coming into this season of 331, 154, and 4. His last year's team went 22-4. Their conference record was 13-3. That was good enough for second place. This is the first time in quite a few years that Washington Township's kind of on a downslide, if you will.
And we've talked several times, of course, Joe Fasali, who has been my battery mate a few times before. In fact, his presence is here. You will be seeing the field through Joe's eyes several times during this game. He is with one of the cameras up above the dugout.
In fact, Sean, getting back, Cherry Hill East was the Diamond Tournament champions last year. They had an outstanding tournament. They beat Bishop Eustace in that final, so they're the defending champions from last year.
Umpires for today's game, Vince Baldino is going to be on the bases, and Paul Rogel will be behind the plate. And starting off things for Cherry Hill East is going to be Chris Figaro. Let's set the lineups for you real quickly. For Washington Township, Gary Barber is going to be at first base. D.M. Phillips at second base. Jeff Wood at shortstop. Tim Huckle, familiar name in Washington Township sports, in third base. Mike Wallace in left field. Andy Vincente in center. Jim Felici in right. And Roy Price is the battery mate for Kerner. First pitch to Figaro is a ball.
Figaro comes in as a sophomore. He was the quarterback of the Cherry Hill East football team.
Beautiful day for baseballs. Very, very slight breeze, if any. There's a chopper to Wood at short. A long throw over to first base, and Figaro becomes the first out of the ball game.
Wood did a nice job right there. They got a Sunday hop, too. Nice, easy play. Didn't really charge the ball. Made a nice play right there and a strong arm at shortstop.
David Kim, the next batter, a junior third baseman for Cherry Hill East. He'll be followed by Brian Bennett, also a junior.
Kim's one of the guys to watch out for in this East team, too, Sean. Outstanding power.
Works him inside to start things off.
He's got a good arm, too. One of the best athletes you're going to see out here for Cherry Hill East this year.
Swing and a miss that time by Kim. Evens the count at 1-1.
Pretty nice job of pitching right now by Kerner. He's doing a nice job. That's a beautiful pitch low on the outside corner of the plate.
Takes something off that, and Kim pops it up. Andy Vincente in center field puts it away for out number 2.
That was a case right there where Kerner brought the ball inside and it jammed Kim right there. Kim wasn't able to get up on the speed there. That's a case when you move that ball in from the outside corner to the inside corner, it becomes a lot tougher to hit.
That's going to bring up Brian Bennett, the center fielder for Cherry Hill East. Left-hander steps in there. With 2 down here in the top of the first inning.
Bennett's a returning starter from last year's team. That's a pretty smart decision right there. Huckle at third base was very deep down at third. I don't think Huckle was expecting the bunt there. You can see Huckle in your screen back there. You'll be able to watch what Huckle does at third base all day long.
Ooh. And he hits Bennett. And so Bennett is going to go down to first base. And Cherry Hill East, the Cougars, will have a base runner here with 2 outs in the first, and Mark Denick, the batter. He's the senior shortstop for the Cougars.
Mark batted .312 last year as a third baseman. He hopes to attend Villanova, where he hopes to play baseball. He's a captain of this 1993 team.
There's a well-hit ball to right center field. That ball is way out there. It's going to roll to the fence. And it looks like Bennett's going to come around to score. Here's the relay. And the ball is overthrown at third base, but Denick ends up with a stand-up triple.
Bennett did a nice job, went the opposite way with the pitch. There's a lot of room out there in that right center field area. Went with the pitch. Almost Washington Township cost himself a run because the pitcher Kerner was late backing up third base. Luckily that screen was there and kept it in play.
So the Cougars strike here with 2 outs in the first, and Ed Kemps is the batter. He's the designated hitter for starting pitcher Barry Torin. He's a junior for the Cougars. So he's up there with Denick on third base, and 2 down in the inning.
Ed played defensive end and tight end for the Cherry Hill East football team this past year. It's his first year as a varsity player here for East.
It looked like he tried to take a little off that and get a corner miss. 1-1.
And I tell you what, Sean, this has got to be a real good sign if you're a Cherry Hill East player or fan here, because Cherry Hill East has had a down year. They played a tough game against Paul Six yesterday. They fought them tough. Getting an early run here could be in East's favor mentally in this game.
High heat on that one. Strike 2 to Kemps. 1-2.
I thought that would be a big factor in this game because, you know, if you're a losing team coming in 2-4 and you come in trailing after the first inning, you can't get 2 up the rest of the game. So that was a big first run.
Swings at one in the dirt. Catcher Roy Price starts to chase him down the line, throws to first base, and Barbara can't scoop it up, and Cherry Hill East scores another run.
Tell you what, Sean, I don't know if we're going to get another shot of this or not, but it appeared that the catcher out there, Price, wanted to initially tag, and he looked to me like he tried to throw the ball on the run, which is something it's not too recommended to do. You got to line your shoulders up to first base and throw it at that time. Seemed like he kind of had both shoulders facing first base and wasn't in a real good position to throw.
So, Tad, I'm going to throw the official scoring to you just like I do with Joe. He usually tries to shirk it, too, but...
Well, that's a strikeout, right? That's officially a strikeout.
Officially, it is a strikeout.
I don't know if that's considered, I guess, an error on the catcher, too.
All right, Matt Lefevre, the batter, and a pickoff move to first as Kemps gets back. 2-0, the Cougars on top here in the top of the first. All this with 2 outs.
This is kind of uncharacteristic of this Washington Township team. Fundamentally real sound. Only made 1 error in the game we had the other day on Jones Intercable, and this is kind of uncharacteristic of them early on here.
There's a hit and run, and that ball's going to drop in. Kemps is going to head for third. Here's the play, and he's in there. So Kemps at third, and Lefevre on with a base hit on a hit and run. So the Cougars continuing this 2-out rally here.
And you really can't fault Mike Kerner on that play. Made a nice pitch, high and inside. If we're playing pro ball out here, Sean, that bat's probably broken because it was so inside on the hands. But with these aluminum bats, that's just what can happen. It goes into the outfield. Second baseman Phillips committed a little bit early. You can see as the ball went out there, he was already on second base, so he might have left a little bit early on that play. Otherwise, that was right at the second baseman.
Ted Farnath, the batter, the junior right fielder. He's the 7th batter now to bat for the Cougars. And again, all this happening with 2 outs as Kerner retired the first 2 batters he faced.
Farnath made 3 TD catches on the football team this year.
Comes to home plate, bounces it in there. Farnath swings. And it's 0-1. John Bush also getting some very capable assistance from Mr. Robinson, a local resident here, Washington Township, talking about Bill Robinson.
Nice pitches on the outside corner right there by Kerner, way out in front. He's taking a little bit off it. Farnath's been really out in front of these last 2. We'll see if he goes with it again on the outside corner.
Ball almost gets away. It does. Here comes Kemps at home. A close play, and he's in there. Aggressive base running. So Kemps comes around to score. And it is now a 3-0 game as Matt Lefevre ends up over at third base.
And you know what's happening right now? Washington Township, I don't think, was mentally prepared for this game. Cherry Hill East predominantly has always been a powerhouse. They come in today, as you look at it again, 2-7. The catcher there, Price, had the ball in his glove for a second, but he couldn't find the ball. Nobody pointed it out to him. I just think the Washington Township kids were a little down coming into this one, and East has capitalized on that.
Kerner from the stretch this time. Aims again for the outside corner, can't get it. Tad, I think you have to give credit too to Cherry Hill East. They are not hesitating here on taking the extra base whenever they can. That was a real judgment decision. The ball got away, and this is again.
You got to go for everything you can get, especially against Washington Township, because notoriously Washington Township does not make a lot of mistakes. They've probably made more mistakes in this inning than we're going to see the rest of the day. So you've got to jump on them now.
And it is low to Ted Farnath. So Mike Kerner gives up his first walk. And he has runners now at first and third, again with 2 outs, 3 runs in this inning. And A.J. Salvatore, the batter. He's the senior left fielder for the Cougars.
He's had an outstanding football season, too. He was all conference and all Group 4 in football. He was the captain of the team. He's playing to go to either University of Arizona or Michigan State.
Kerner's pickoff move over to first to try to keep Farnath close. And of course we have a couple of standouts from the South Jersey Group 4 champions in football right here too, Tad, with Mike Kerner on the mound.
And of course Huckle was the quarterback out there too.
Tim Huckle at third base. See him right in the middle near the upper portion of your screen.
Huckle, one of the young, here's another pickoff play, very close. Huckle's one of the youngest seniors ever to play at Washington Township High School. He just turned 17 in February. And Huckle, of course, is a senior at 17. Still undecided as to where he's going to play, though.
Popped up, and it's fouling out of play.
Joe Vasali ducked awful quick back there. He's doing our cameraman. He's the cameraman you're looking at right now. That's his view, and he flinched awful quick there, Sean. I don't know about your partner there.
Tad, I feel a lot safer with you here than Joe. I mean, Joe would hide behind me under the table. He'd be everywhere right now.
It's always fun to pick on the boss.
Especially when he can't talk back right now.
Oh, he's picked off.
All right. There's Farnath down to second base. Now they try a move at home. Huckle can't hold on. And Lefevre scores. And Ted Farnath is going to go all the way around to third base. So the Cougars
I'll tell you what, Sean, this is classic Cherry Hill East baseball, making everything of everything that they've got.
Let's see if we can see that again if we get a chance. You're taking a look now at Farnath, who ends up over on third base.
Now, at this time, the runner at third base is taken off. Mistakenly, though, the first baseman, Barbara, throws it to third, and that's where he went wrong right there. Got to get it to home plate first. Run at the runner first and get him to commit, and then throw it to home plate, and that's where they made a mistake. 4 runs in the inning. This has been a real surprise here in the first.
So Kerner getting roughed up here in this top of the first inning.
Keep in mind, he got the first 2 outs of the inning. This is all with 2 outs.
Foul ball down the right field line. Salvatore, the 8th batter now Kerner has faced here in the first.
It's amazing. All this with 2 outs, too. A team that's been down and out in their luck. With 2 outs, they get a hit batter, a triple and an RBI, a strikeout that would have been the 3rd out of the inning, but an error gets them on, and another hit. 4 runs in.
Takes a little off of that. Salvatore was tempted to go for it. And now Paul Rogel appeals down to Vince Baldino, the base umpire, to see if he had checked his swing, and he did.
This is shaping up to be one of those offensive battles here, Sean. We've gone through a couple of them this year on Jones Intercable. Washington Township can put runs on the board with the best of them.
And I've heard, I was not at the game that you saw here on Channel 13, but I think we have time called out for the moment as Salvador steps out, but I think we might have set a local record at Channel 13 for the length of a game. At Edgewood, I understand a game went over 4 hours.
Well, yeah, that was a nightmare for announcers.
There's one through the middle. Good diving stop, but he's unable to do anything with it. That was D.M. Phillips, and consequently, Ted Farnath comes across to score, and it's now a 5-0 game. A.J. Salvatore with an infield hit.
Once again, Kerner made a nice pitch. Salvatore was jammed, got it off the handle of the bat, just got enough of it, though, to make Phillips make a tough play on it.
Andrew Dwyer, the batter. He's the 9th batter, as you see a replay there. And that was Farnath coming across to score. Dwyer, senior center fielder for the Cougars, and Kerner just misses with an outside corner pitch.
As I said again, all this happening with 2 outs. Very impressive the way East has been able to manufacture some runs. They've been helped a little bit by Washington Township. They could have been out of this inning after the 5th batter, on the strikeout.
There goes the runner, ground ball to short. That's Wood. He's going to have to hurry. Long throw and in time to end this long top of the first for the Minutemen, but not before they come across with 5 runs, and they lead it by a score of 5-0. Jeff Wood batting .300 to start things off, the junior shortstop for the Minutemen.
Leads the team in walks, too.
And he does just that to start things off. Looks one over real carefully, and of course, that's what you need in your leadoff hitter.
You can see the 3rd baseman out there. Kim's up on the grass. And this has been the problem with the East, too, this year. They're pitching. They feel if they can get one guy on the mound that can set you straight, they're going to win a couple games. But so far, they've had 1 inning where they've broken down, or one player's had a couple mistakes to cost them.
Torin takes a little off that, and Wood looks it over and lets it go. 2-1 the count to Jeff Wood.
East lost some real important players. They lost Kevin Foley last year, Steve Young, Eric Henry, Dave Angstreth.
Pop back foul and out of play.
Foley was 1st team All-South Jersey last year. Young was 2nd team All-South Jersey.
Had an opportunity to see Kevin Foley pitch last year, Tad, and he was a very good pitcher for Cherry Hill East.
He's an outstanding, yeah. Of course, his brothers. A long list of Foleys playing for Cherry Hill East.
Had the opportunity to see Glenn Foley play here as well a few years back. Of course, you could be hearing a lot about Glenn Foley this coming year as a quarterback nationally. Popped up, and that's going to be out of play.
Getting back to Kevin Foley, he holds the record for the lowest ERA in a season of .45. He did that back in 1989. He went 8-0, struck out 48, and walked 14 in 46 in the third innings.
2-2 the count to Jeff Wood. Minutemen trail here early in the bottom of the first. 5-0. Ground ball to third. That's David Kim with a long throw in time over to first baseman Matt Lefevre for the first out of the inning. Good strong throw by David Kim. Next up's going to be Andy Vincente, the senior left fielder for the Minutemen. He comes in batting .450. Mike Kerner, of course, the leading hitter on the team, coming in today's game with a .629 batting average. And Vincente takes that one outside. And he looks at that one as well. Of course, the Minutemen will be real happy just to get some base runners to get things started and be able to chip away at this hole they've dug themselves in too early. There's a ball hit the left, center field. And Brian Bennett right there to put it away. It was one of those kind of a line drive hit where if you're an outfielder, sometimes that can really freeze you and you make a wrong guess as to where that ball, which direction that ball is going. It could be real costly for you. Bennett stayed right there and put it away for out number 2.
Yeah, it just kind of sailed on him out there, and luckily he was shallow enough to hold his ground and make the catch. And here's the man, Mike Kerner.
Well, again, you need a stat sheet just to go over his last game performance. There's a ball. It's a high fly ball. It's going to stay in the park, though. A.J. Salvatore's back, and he puts it away for the final out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, and no one left for the Minutemen in the bottom of the first. The score, Cherry Hill East 5 and Washington Township nothing. Figaro, only a sophomore for Dave Martin, starting second base.
He's able to play a lot of positions too, Sean, so that's been very helpful to the coach out there. Today he's playing second base.
Next pitch is also outside.
You can always tell who the first batter is in the lineup. If you look in the back of your screen, you see the third baseman out there, Huckle, always up on the grass, always looking to see if the leadoff hitter is going to lay down a bunt.
2-0 the count to Figaro. And this time Kerner gets one over for a strike. 2-1. We're at Washington Township. Again, just a gorgeous day. Temperature in the 70s. Nice pitch by Kerner as he took a little off that and caught the outside corner to even the count at 2-2.
Yeah, real nice curveball there. Caught the outside corner. That's a real tough pitch for a hitter to hit.
Swing and a miss. He gets Figaro to go after a third strike. First strikeout for Kerner. And that's going to bring up David Kim. He flew out to center field his first time at bat.
As I mentioned, Kim probably has one of the best power strokes on the team.
First pitch delivered to Kim is a ball. You know, Tad, I have to say, too, with the experience, there's a ball well hit to left field. Mike Wallace is going way back, and that's gone. Home run for David Kim.
Yeah, I've seen Kim play a couple games before. He's definitely the home run threat on this team, and Kerner had a ball right in there. I about belt high, and Kim took it downtown over that left center field fence there.
6-0 Cherry Hill East. As you see David Kim cross home plate to a greeting from his teammates. And the Minutemen are really being ambushed here so far. One down in this top of the second. And that's going to bring up Brian Bennett, who scored one of the Cherry Hill East 6 runs. He was hit by a pitch with 2 outs in that top of the first and later came around to score.
Coming in the overall series between Washington Township and Cherry Hill East, Washington Township trails it 11-8 coming into this game.
First pitch is outside to Bennett.
Gosh, looking down Coach Martin's coaching record, he's been coaching since '74. The only losing record he has against any high school in South Jersey is the crosstown rivals of Cherry Hill West, where he's 18-23-2.
2-0 the count to Bennett. And he gets one over this time, 2-1. Pat, I just want to say that with Joe Fasali behind one of the cameras today, with his experience and intuition in all sports, he should be able to know exactly where that ball is going to go even before the batter hits it.
Of course, Joe had that nice little article in the South Jersey section of the Inquirer as that outstanding talk show here in Jones Intercable.
Outside, I beg your pardon, he loses Bennett his second walk of the game.
And this is where the trouble started last inning. Bennett was hit by a pitch that started that first inning where they scored 5 runs.
Yeah, just got a chance to congratulate Joe Fasali again. Apparently a budding superstar in the sports talk show circuit.
We do have some work going on in the bullpen right behind us. The newly cut grass back here in the bullpen. Right-hander working.
Boy, this field is just in immaculate condition, too, at Washington Township. Give them a lot of credit for really maintaining the fields. Good pickoff move by Kerner, trying to get Brian Bennett leaning there at first. Mark Denick tripled in that first inning to drive home Brian Bennett, and Denick also scored a run. Another move to first, and they're getting fairly close down there, Tad.
Yeah, they are really close. Pretty nice move out there by Kerner, keeping Bennett honest. Bennett's had a couple late jumps back to first base, too. Ooh!
And I believe he hit Denick. He did, and he is going to be awarded first base.
A little surprised the coach there. I think we are going to have a coach go out to talk to Kerner. I was going to say, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen a coach out there yet. He definitely needs to be settled down out there.
Yes.
You almost get the feeling now he's trying to do everything himself right now, and you have to remind him, hey, we've got 9 guys on this field, and everyone can catch the ball. Just throw some strikes, let them field the ball, and we'll gradually climb back into this game. Got to take it one batter at a time, though. Boy, I sound like a philosopher out here.
Well, I'll tell you, you've hit the nail on the head there, Tad. That's exactly what they're doing. Is they want to talk to Mike Kerner.
Hey,
you like to think that, especially with some of the statistics you were reading earlier there, they're averaging 10 runs a game, so they certainly have to think that they're still within reach, trailing at 6-0. But of course, there is a concern that they don't want to fall too much farther behind.
Yeah, they've been scoring almost 12 runs a game right now, and they know they can score runs, so that's really not a problem there. It's just, right now, let's stay away from any other big innings. Just settle down out there, let the fielders behind you field the ball, throw strikes, just keep your head on your shoulders.
Ed Kemp's the batter. He struck out, but was able to get down to first base when Roy Price threw the ball in the dirt to Gary Barber, and he later came around to score. So Cherry Hill East.
Wow.
There's a ball well hit to left center field. And that is going to stay in the park, back by the fence, and it looks like another run is going to score. And they're sending him home. And Kemp's with a stand-up double as Bennett and Denick come around to score.
That was a real nice pitch right there. Took it into the gap. Again, they would have had a nice play at the plate right there. They probably would have had to nick at the plate, but the shortstop Wood wasn't able to catch the ball out there. Real nice piece of hitting, though. Kerner really struggling as we look at it again. I don't know if we're going to get a chance to look at the relay or not. You see the left fielder Wallace pick up the ball. Now here comes up. We cut away from it. The relay was missed. Otherwise, there would have been a real close play right there at the plate.
There's a ball hit to second base. D.M. Phillips is only play to first. And that's the second out of the inning as Ed Kemps moves over to third base.
That's the good thing about that. When you hit the ball to that side of the field, the runners can move over to third base safely. So they have another runner in scoring position. Cherry Hill East playing like they're the #1 team in South Jersey today.
Minutemen find themselves down 8-0 here in the top of the second inning with 2 down. Ted Farnath, the batter, he also came around to score. And gets that one up high.
And out of the 5 hits, 3 of them have been extra base hits.
Gets that one outside as well. Now John Bush yells out to Roy Price that he wants him to go out and talk to Mike Kerner.
And like I said, they do have somebody working and warm and ready to go in the bullpen, so they can make that move whenever they want to. And I'm sure Kerner will move to the outfield whenever that move is made here.
All right, Price comes back with this huddle that he's just had with Mike Kerner. 2 down, and Ted Farnath still the batter there waiting.
And in case you're wondering, Kerner coming into this game has pitched 7 1/3 innings, giving up 1 triple and 7 singles, an ERA of 4.00.
And he gets that one inside and low, and it's 3-0 now to Farnath. So again, Kerner's got to come across with a strike here. Wants to get out of this inning. 3 runs are in this inning. And he does that, comes over with a fastball. Farnath looking all the way.
And Washington Township sideline real quiet now.
There's a ball hit off the end of the bat down to first. Gary Barber gets it unassisted for the final out of the inning, but not before Cherry Hill East scores 3 runs in this top of the second inning. And they lead it now by a score of 8-0. And here's one of the leaders on the team, being a senior in one respect, and that's Tim Huckle, batting at .320.
And of course, he decided to play baseball 2 days before the season started. Had a nice little article about him saying he got tired of hearing the noise around the house, so he decided to go out for baseball this season.
Pops him up. Catcher Andy Dwyer stays with it and puts it away for the first out of the inning.
That's a tough play for a catcher, too. I don't know if you ever had the opportunity to try and do that. When the ball goes up in the air, it goes away from home plate, and as it starts to come down, it comes back hard towards pitchers, man. You see a lot of even pros misjudge that. That's a tough catch.
Yeah, I think it's because of so much spin on it. As we take a look at it again, they get under it so much. It has a lot of spin on it as it's coming back, as it's coming down. Gary Barber, the batter, comes in batting .333. First pitch to him is a strike.
And right now he's getting good pitching right now from Turin. They'll go as far as Turin will be able to throw the ball today.
Barber will be followed by Roy Price in the dirt. Evens the count at 1-1. Tad, you talked about a moment ago about that pop-up that Andy Dwyer caught, the catcher for Cherry Hill East. Just misses on the inside corner. 2-1 the count. To me, that is one of the biggest mysteries, how those guys, how a catcher can kneel and squat for 2 or 3 hours with the pressure on I can't do that for 15 seconds. There's a hard hit ball knocked down by Matt Lefevre, but unable to make anything happen. So the Minutemen get their first hit of the game. Gary Barber gets on an infield hit.
Barber smashed that ball too. Lefevre down at first base got a glove on it. Figaro might have had a play at first base, but Turin was not really over in position. So the infield single there as we get a good look at Mr. Barber.
Roy Price, the batter, batting .222, the junior center fielder for the Minutemen. Facing Barry Torin here with 1 out in the inning. 1 down and Barber down at first base. Nice pitch by Torin. He really took a lot off that one.
And as we said before the game, he's really going to feature that off-speed pitch. And so far, he's been able to throw that off-speed pitch for strikes. Playing him the opposite way, too, in the outfield. That's kind of surprising with an off-speed pitcher.
Keeping an eye on Barber at first base. Minutemen need base runners, and they need runs. There you see where we're at here in the bottom of the second. They trail it 8-0. And again, Torin moving over to first base.
Don't want to get too overly concerned with the runners with an 8-0 lead right now. The batter's your biggest enemy. Keep them honest out there in the bases, but don't overly concerned with them.
Just misses with that one.
There's a good indication of that off-speed pitch, too. I'm sure you can see at home the difference between the pitching of Torin and when Kerner throws his fastball. There's a big difference in speed. Really got to wait in there in the batter's box.
Popped up. Left field, A.J. Salvatore coming in. And he stays with it for the second out of the inning. That looked like a tough pop-up for Salvatore. He was back there at the end. As the ball was coming down, he really had to take a few quick steps to get readjusted.
He was very lucky out there. He misjudged that ball pretty good. He started initially going back on the ball, and luckily the ball was up in the air enough where he had time to run it down. That was a nice pitch on the outside corner by Torin as Price tried to pull it.
D.H. Phillips, the batter. Junior second baseman comes in batting at .423 as we see Barber is still down there at first base. 2 outs in the inning.
I believe it's DM Phillips, I believe is how it is, I believe.
DM, what
Maybe
did I
I
say?
wrote it down, DH. I don't mean to be mean to you.
Thank you for the correction. DM Phillips, you're right.
Well, I wrote the names down for you before the game, and I have to admit, I wrote it in marker, and it's kind of scribbly, and my M does look like an H here, so I can see where you got that from.
Tad, if I can decipher Joe Fasali's writing, I can decipher anything.
Man, Joe's ears must be burning today.
Breaking ball catches the corner. Nice pitch by Torin.
Really impressed with Torin. He's really been able to get that ball over. That's a tough pitch to get over, those curveballs. He's been able to do it consistently. As long as he can hang in there, East has a shot in this game to hold that lead.
There goes Barbara, and Dwyer's unable to stop the ball. Barber is down at second base, and he's going to stay there. The ball was in the dirt, and Dwyer had it hop off him, but still able to get behind. There you see Barber down at second base.
Yeah, Torin had that curveball on the outside part of the plate. Dwyer tried to slide over and get in front of it. Didn't quite make it out there in time as that ball was way wide to that first base side.
Two and one the count to Phillips. Still with a 2-out situation here. And Barbara sitting on second base. Jim Fleccia is the on-deck batter. Inside to Phillips. And it's now 3-1 the count.
Good hitter's pitch right here. We'll see if he comes in with the fastball. It's an average fastball. See if Phillips is looking for one in his zone right here.
Torrance pitches high, gets by Dwyer. So Barber is going to get a chance to get down to third base now. And Township now with runners at first and third and 2 outs.
Yeah, that time the pitch was a little high, and Dwyer kind of took his eye off it and was watching the runners. That's how that got by him there.
And of course, if you're Dave Martin right now, the manager of Cherry Hill East, one thing he's thinking is, all right, I don't want to let this Township team start to get some momentum here. I'd really like to snuff this out.
Well, they've got 2 outs in the
inning.
inning, so, I mean, they only need one more play here. It's just a matter of the pitcher's got to throw strikes. He can't beat himself with those walks. It's his first walk, too.
Pickoff move over to first base. Cherry Hill East, of course, did all their damage in the first inning with 2 outs. They scored 5 runs in that first. Jim Fleccia, the batter. Another move to first by Torren. Sean O'Hara and Tad Kaczynski.
That's cool. We'll accept
Did I get
that.
close?
It's close enough.
Throw down to second base. Phillips is in there, and they're going to score as the ball rolls past second base. So Barber comes around to score, and DM Phillips ends up at third base in the stolen base, and then moving over to third on the throw into center field.
Barber was holding down at third base too. They were letting that play ride through, but when the infielder missed the ball, that was a gift right there for Washington Township. As we look at it again here, watch as the infielder goes right through his hands. Pretty good throw, but got through it to second baseman there. Second baseman was Figaro.
Fleccia.
I believe that the way they were telling me is Flecka is the way. It looks like Fleccia, but they're telling me it's Flecka.
There's a chopper up the middle. Let's see, it finds its way through. So the Minutemen score another run. And the score is now 8-2. And again, they are scoring, at least this time also, with 2 outs.
And I tell you what, Sean, there's a saying, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good right there. And that was a pretty nice pitch right there, high and outside the strike zone. It was muscled, hit off the dirt, and bounced right over Torren's head and crawled right into center field. So there's a break for Washington Township.
Mike Wallace, the batter, the junior left fielder for the Minutemen, trying to keep things going here with 2 down here in the bottom of the second. Minutemen trailing it now 8-2 as Barry Torren steps off the mound. And that's, of course, what John Bush wanted to see, just begin to chip away at this lead. In the dirt that time, and there goes Fleccia down to second base. And he's in there. Dwyer able to keep the ball in front of him, but unable to control it.
Yeah, Dwyer did a nice job there of making a box and just framing his body out there. But that ball bounced about 4 feet in front of the plate. That's a real tough play for the catcher.
Wallace trying to keep things going.
You really couldn't see it in that angle, but the shortstop, Mark DeNick, had the daylight play on. If the shortstop goes in between second base bag and the runner, it's called the daylight play, and the pitcher either steps off or throws to second. DeNick saw it there as the shortstop went to the bag. Unfortunately, Torren did not see it and pitched the ball. And how many times have you seen on one of those plays the ball get lined right where the shortstop would be?
Right.
So East was very fortunate on that play. They're going to try and do it again. There he almost had a shot at it for a second.
There's a ball well hit but foul. He really got around on that. Wallace did. But it's going to be a long foul ball.
You're not kidding, Sean. He really got a hold of that one. His coach Robinson says, hit it out that way. You know, let's hit it up the middle. Could hear him out there say, hit that ball up the middle.
You see
Well
Bill
in front of
Robinson, excuse me, Tad, on the left side of your screen there in the coaching box. Bill Robertson, the former coach.
It's a crime he's
New York
not
Mets.
coaching on the pro level right now. It's an absolute shame what happened to him. He was coaching, I believe, I want to say AA level. They had an opening above him, and they elected not to give it to him. And you know, that's just really unfortunate because they're a great, great baseball man. Has his little camps around and all. It's just nice to see him still involved with the high school around here right now.
In the dirt, Dwyer keeps it in front of him. This time Fletcher is going to get down to third base. So the Minutemen beginning to do what Cherry Hill East has done fairly successfully this game, and that is take advantage of any miscues on the field with their base running.
Dwyer has his work cut out for him today at the odd speed pitching. There you see Robinson down there at third base with Fletcher.
We'll get that right. Sorry,
that is a tough name to say. I'll grant you on that. There you see Coach Robinson down there. It's really nice to see him still involved and out here with the kids, giving it everything he has. I would give my right arm to be able to play high school ball with that man as one of the coach, and of course Coach Bush, the head coach, with all his years of expertise too.
There's a chopper down the third base line. Good grab by Kim. Long throw in time. What a play by David Kim to end the inning and avoid any more damage.
Wow.
We're going to take a break right now. We'll be right back. So the Minutemen, there you see it, trail at 8-2, but are able to chip away at that lead. Kerner in the ball game, and the first pitch to Salvador has popped up, and Gary Barbara there to pull it in for out number one.
And tried to go for that first pitch, was a little high and a little outside. He tried to pull it and popped it up there.
Andrew Dwyer, the batter, he grounded out to shortstop his first time up. And he really had his work cut out for him the past inning, blocking, keeping his body in front of a couple of pitches, but enabling some Minutemen to take some extra bases.
Needs to work on his consistency out there. Coach said he's showed some brilliance out there, but he's also shown some off days. He needs to be a little bit more consistent up there. He's a football player, played cornerback for this East team.
Swing and a miss that time by Dwyer. And Kerner out in front of him now, 0-2. Get a chance to talk about the Williamstown Braves as well. They're 4-3 overall in Tri-County.
Another good team here in the Jones Intercable area.
Inside, Kerner caught that inside corner just a moment ago, tried it again, but misses this time. 1-2 the count to Andrew Dwyer.
And you can see the difference in speed between these two, especially on that pitch. Kerner really reached back and fired it.
Breaking ball that time misses. Evens a count at 2-2.
He's the only freshman, Kerner, has become an everyday starter for Coach Bush. In all those years, the only one.
Swing and a miss. He really had him reaching on that one. Second strikeout of the game for Mike Kerner. Actually, third strikeout, beg your pardon. So that's a quick 2 down in the inning. And Chris Figaro, the batter, he has grounded out to short and been one of the 3 strikeout victims of Mike Kerner.
He's a gamer out there. Coach said he's always out there ready to play. Can't wait to get out in the field. That's why he's in there in the leadoff spot trying to get something happen. You can see a little bit change in the confidence out there of Kerner now. Now they've got a couple runs on the board. Seems to be able to find the plate a little bit more this inning.
Tad, I was just looking at the book and thinking the same thing. Inside that time. 2-0 the count to Figaro. Kerner retired the first 2 batters in the first inning, and then he got roughed up for 5 runs. And the second inning, he retired the first batter before he came across and scored 3 runs in that inning. So again, he has retired the first 2 batters of this inning, and hopefully he can settle down and begin to get in a groove.
Kerner's been doing a nice job on the off-speed pitch, trying to work the outside corner, having trouble getting it over most of the game, but keeping it outside.
And he puts that one over. The count is 3-1.
That was belt high too. That's a nice hitting pitch there. It had the red light on there.
Catches the corner that time. Good pitch by Kerner.
And it seems like he's been throwing the fastball hard inside. That was the first fastball we saw towards the outside of the plate. That had the batter a little bit confused.
Full count to Figaro. Takes it off of it and strikes out Chris Figaro. Second time Figaro has struck out, and Mike Kerner gets his first 1-2-3 inning as we go to the bottom of the third, and the Minutemen trailing it by a score of 8-2.
And I'm sure, you know, as you look at the Washington Township guys here, they know they've got a lot of innings to go in this game. And they're notorious for putting runs on the board. It's just a matter of getting another inning together here.
Ted, I'm going to get your opinion as we leave high school baseball for a moment. What do you think of the Phillies? Did you call this? I know Joe Fasali's always right on target with everything, but
it's just like the Eagles, right? No, it's just been real impressive. Like everyone said, it's been the pitching would be their question mark, and they've got the pitching so far. And as long as everyone says, the pitching will be the key. That'll be where the pitching goes is where the Phillies go this year. And what's scary about the Phillies is, for the most part, they really haven't hit the ball all that well. And there you see our boss right there, Mr. Eagles lover right there, Joe Vasali. There he is. He turns around. Joe Vasali checking things out here.
Flexing some of those massive biceps, working that camera today.
Look at that hat he's got on, too. He knows. He knows. He's a fan. That's what I like about Joe. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and you got to like that about the boss. There, and he wears the biceps on his... Is that what that's called there, Joe? Oh, Joe Vasali and our cameraman here at Jones Intercables. We get a look at some of the area here at Washington Township. Having a lot of fun in this one.
It's been a good one. We've seen a lot of action here. Can't complain about little or no offense in this game, 8-2, and we're still just in the bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, we had a feeling back when East had that big first inning that this was going to be a long one.
Jeff Wood, Andy Vincente, and Mike Kerner slated to be the batters this inning. Wood grounded out to third base his first time at bat.
This is a key batter, too, for Cherry Hill East. Torrin hasn't let the leadoff batter get on base yet in the first 2 innings.
And Torrin comes over with a strike. You can hear the Washington Township dugout. They're trying to whip up some emotion here and keep everybody's head in the game and chip away at that lead some more if they can.
Seems, too, there's been a lot of first pitch curveballs from Torrin. I don't know if the batters have picked up on that or what the hitting theory is brought on them by the few coaches they have. I guess it depends individually how you're instructed, but I have noticed a lot of off-speed curveballs as first pitches for Torrin thus far.
1-1 the count to Jeff Wood. And he misses with that one, 2-1.
And you can see Torrin on the mound after that pitch went down kind of to his knees there. He's struggling already in this inning. He's got to watch himself.
Wow. And he looked like he was looking at it for a fraction of a second, let it go, and count goes to 3-1.
Yeah, the reason I made that last comment about Torrin, obviously you can't say he's struggling. It's only like the third pitch he's thrown, but just the mannerisms he has on the mound. He's really reaching for a lot out there on the mound. You don't like to see that.
And he catches the inside corner. Count goes to full for Jeff Wood. Breaking ball fouls it back just off the glove of Andrew Dwyer.
It was a pretty decent pitch there. The only problem was it was high, and it gave Wood the opportunity to hang with that. Had it been maybe a little bit lower in the strike zone, he might have got a strikeout. Got to watch his hanging curves. I learned from experience.
There's a ball hit to left field, and that's going to find its way in for a hit. Could be more. Wood is going to get down to second base with a stand-up double.
That was a pretty nice pitch right there by Torrin. It was on the low outside portion of the plate. Wood did a nice job to go out and get that and pull it down the left field line. Wasn't a bad pitch, wasn't hung up there. Nice piece of hitting right there by Wood.
So the Minutemen with another base runner, and that's the way they want to start things off here. Andy Vincente, the batter, he flew out to center field his first time up. Last night, Andy won the Mr. Washington Township award at the high school.
What do you have to do to get the Mr. Washington Township contest? What do you have to do?
I'm not too sure about that.
Does he go out there in his Speedos, or? Not to make fun of it or anything. I'm sure they had to do something. I know the schools, that's like the latest rage in a lot of the high schools to have Mr. High School. That must be a neat little thing to tell the grandkids about a couple years from now.
Pull out the old yearbook, huh?
Says he's going to Trenton State, too.
There's a ground ball to second. Chris Figaro has only one play to first for the first out of the inning, but it moves Jeff Wood over to third base.
Yeah, rumor had it Joe Vasali was his mister of his high school, too.
Mike Kerner, the batter, and he's certainly has an opportunity to help his own cause here with a runner at third base and one down in the inning.
Coach Bush had an interesting quote about his 3 home run and a double game. As you said earlier, one of the most impressive singular performances he's ever seen in his years coaching. And
3 home runs, 1 home run to each field, left, center,
grand
and
slam.
right field, one of which was a grand slam and a double. There's a
Say
ball
that.
well hit to right center field. Is it going to get out of here? It stays in the park, bounces against the fence, and Kerner is going to end up with a stand-up double, and Jeff Wood comes across to score, but that didn't miss a home run by much.
Yeah, he went out there with a lot of authority and just kind of died a little bit once it got out there. But you can see why Kerner's as highly touted as he is. That ball really took off. Real outstanding athlete out there.
He has a very smooth swing and almost effortless as we take a look at the replay. And maybe we can get a shot of it there.
All the way back to that fence.
That was Brian Bennett giving chase and getting the ball in for Cherry Hill East. So Kerner on second, 1 down in the inning, and Tim Huckle the batter. Huckle popped up to Andy Dwyer his first time at bat.
That's
and he
trouble.
pops this one up as well. Let's see. Coming in finally is Brian Bennett from center field. But you're right, Tad. That took a little while for one of those guys to decide who had the best angle at it.
That was a nice play by Bennett out there. The center fielder has the run of the outfield, and that's just what he did. He took charge out there. The shortstop, Nick, kind of hesitated on it. I didn't think Salvatore was going to get to it either. So a real nice play out there by Bennett.
So 2 down in the inning, and it's going to be up to Gary Barbara to keep this inning going. Came into the game batting .333, singled, and later came around to score one of the 2 runs, one of the 3 now runs for Washington Township.
It's a real nice off-speed pitch there by Torn. And as I said, he's been starting off all the batters predominantly with that off-speed curveball. Depends on the hitter's preference if you want to swing at that pitch or not.
And Torn steps off the mound as Barbara steps out.
I always believed and always was taught, from some of the high school coaches, just, it has to be in your area, and you have to kind of be looking for the pitch.
Dribbles a ball to Torren. Nice move by Torren. Dives off the mound to get the ball and gets it over to Matt Lefevre to end the inning for Cherry Hill East. First pitch is a strike to Kim. So we'll see if Mike Kerner can continue to stay in the groove that he established in the 3rd inning, retiring Cherry Hill East in order.
That was a real nice off-speed pitch. Kim was well in front of that. I think he was sitting on a fastball there.
Tried to check his swing, but was unable to do so. And Kerner quickly in front of Kim, 0-2.
I wouldn't be surprised if this one's well outside here.
Wow. Base hit to left field. And he got all that. Behind in the count, 0-2, but comes through with a hit. Kim is 2 for 3 so far in this game. We're in the 4th inning.
And that was a line drive seed, too. It was hard to tell the position on the plate, but it looked like it was towards the middle of the plate, but it was hard to tell. There's a nice piece of hitting there. Smacked it into left field.
Brian Bennett, the batter, he was hit by a pitch and walked, and both times came around to score.
And this has been the damaging part of the lineup. Bennett, like you said, has scored twice. Denick behind him has scored twice also. They've started the 2 big innings.
Ball gets away. And David Kim is going to get down second base on the pass ball. Or a wild pitch, I guess, right, Ted?
Yeah, I'd go along with that. It's a catchable ball, it looked like by the... Well, not a catchable ball. That's tough. It could go either way. I mean, it's just a stupid technicality on that. Did look like a ball that the catcher probably should come up with. He's taking a long look down there. We'll see if he'll square around again. Probably be easy for you at home to tell. Usually if you're going to bunt, you're going to move up in the box on the pitch. So we'll see if he moves up a little bit here. Now he's going to stay where he is. You want to stay in front of home plate because that plate, a lot of people think that's in foul ground. The plate is in fair ground. So if you have any thoughts of bunting at all, you're taught to move up in the box and stay in front of that plate.
So Bennett looking to bunt and now pulls the bat back. Right back at Kerner. Is going to go to third base. And he can't do it. The ball was thrown high to Tim Huckle. And Bennett as well is going to get on at first base.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, being a second guesser here, you can say that that was a bad decision. But Kerner just reacted to the play, made a nice play to knock it down. That would have been a real close play at third base. Obviously, the easy play would have been the first, but he felt like he could have got him at third. Now he dug himself a hole here, though. First and third, nobody out.
Mark Danick, the batter, tripled his first time at bat and was hit by a pitch, and he's another one of those players that scored both times. Ball hit back to Kerner, second base, nice play by D.M. Phillips, and he almost turned that into a double play, but the ball pulled Gary Barber off.
That should have been a double play. No offense to Barber out there. Barber stretched before the ball was thrown. Hopefully we'll get a shot of it here. Barber stretch, you're taught not to really stretch until the ball is thrown so you know where it is, and he brought his glove down, and it was too low as the throw came into him. Nice play as we look at it again. Real outstanding play out there at second base. Look at that out there. Now the run scores right there, and we just missed the play at first there, but the stretch was a little bit too early, and that's what caused Barber to miss that.
Give Phillips a lot of credit. I really thought that ball might have found its way through. So one out in the inning, one run in. Danick down at first base, and Ed Kemp's in there right now. Kemp's bounces one. Jeff Wood at short to one. Phillips not in time.
And the throw gets away from the first baseman again. That was a pretty good slide down there by Danick, but it looked like the second baseman Phillips didn't have a lot of didn't have a lot on that throw. He's bending over like he's a little shaken up down there at second base. He got slid into pretty good. Pretty nice takeout slide there.
Maybe we can see that again as John Bush is now signaling to Paul Rogel. Let's look at it again.
He gets slid into fairly hard here. Watch the slide. Boom. Well, he had an opportunity to get it around, but he didn't turn and square his shoulders around again. He tried to kind of long arm it with his body weight was out towards left field. And he's in some pain right now.
So we've got two down in the inning. Ed Kemp's down at first base. Matt Lefevre scheduled to be the batter. And we have a trainer, and two down the inning. D.M. Phillips appears to be okay now at second base. Matt Lefevre back in. He singled, came around to score in the first, and grounded out to second as Kerner keeps an eye on Ed Kemp's over at first base. One run in the inning. Cherry Hill East leading it now 9-3 in this top of the fourth inning. Nice pitch on the outside corner. Boy, he really almost like threw a dart to get that outside corner then, Todd.
He's been doing a nice job with that curveball off speed, keeping it on the outside corner. Real impressive on that corner today.
Hit and run, ground ball to third. Huckle has trouble, and he can't do anything with it. So Lefevre gets on by way of an error by Tim Huckle.
Yeah, Huckle tried to get it on a good hop, but he waited and just got that one little bounce, and he got the shirt off, brought his glove up a little bit, and it went right under his glove.
Ted Farnath, the batter.
There it is again as you look at him. He'll just bring that glove up and it just squeaks under.
Farnath walked his first time at bat.
He saw some experience last year as a varsity player, too. Not many guys on this team saw experience for East on the varsity level last year. A handful.
So Ed Kemps is down at second base. Matt Lefevre at first. And
almost went into our control room, right into our equipment, right in the truck behind us as it ricocheted off the top of the backstop.
Farnath goes after the first pitch. Fouls it back. Next pitch by Kerner. Again, he finds that outside corner.
That's been a real effective pitch for him, too. That's a tough pitch for a right-hander to hit.
So Farnath is really going to have to dig in now and guard that plate. 2 down in the inning, and he's up there with runners at first and second base. And he wanted them to really reach for that one, but Farnath would have nothing of it. 2-1 the count to Ted Farnath.
That's once again a good pitch, though. When you're ahead in the count, you want to make the batter fish for it.
Sean O'Hara and Tad Kozaneski here at Washington Township. Minutemen trailing at 9-3 as East had a big first inning, scoring 5 runs. In the dirt, that evens the count to Farnath at 2-2. And it looked like he was going for that outside corner again, Tab, but just missed it.
Yeah, a little bit low on that. Nice call by the umpire. Very close, tough pitch to take.
Farnath was behind 0-2, and he's worked it to a full count. Pitch on the way from Kerner, and he gets it high, and Farnath works a walk from Kerner to load the bases here with 2 outs.
It's only the 3rd walk in the game thus far. Salvatore now has a chance to really open this game up for Cherry Hill East.
Salvatore is singled in the first and popped up to first base, in the 3rd inning. Pops it up, and that's going to be out of play. Almost finds its way into the Washington Township bullpen.
And they still have some men working behind that bullpen. There you get a shot on top of the dugout. There's the bullpen right behind it as we go with Visal and Cam back on the field. Bases loaded. This is a big, big chance for Cherry Hill East to really boost their confidence here. Township needs this out.
Hits that outside corner. He's been doing so well with that, especially early on. He caught that corner with Farnath and got ahead of him 0-2 and then proceeded to lose him by throwing 4 straight balls. Wow. Tries to go inside and just missed that time. Evens the count at 1-1.
Salvatore was completely handcuffed. He was getting ready to swing, but that was a nice smoking fastball in the inside corner.
Outside again, 2-1. Mike Kerner, of course, just had a fabulous year as well in football for Coach Tom Brown, and the Minutemen, of course, were the South Jersey Group 4 champions, and he'll be back next year.
Well, to give you an example, he had 5 interceptions, 40 tackles, and ran for 977 yards, and scored 108 points. Not bad. Rumor has it he lines the football field, too, before the game. He was the starting point guard also for the basketball team this past year. He can deadlift 600 pounds, squat 400, bench press 265 for a 5'11", 170-pounder. And he's just a junior.
And Salvatore swings, foul tips it, and Roy Price holds on to end the inning for Washington Township.
For Township coming in this game again, we're 6-1.
And they have some decent batting averages here in the lower part of their lineup.
Price came in batting .222. Takes a curveball, nice pitch in the outside corner. As I said again, that curveball leads off every batter for Torren. He's been able to get it over for strikes.
Look at DM Phillips on deck, came into the game with a .423 average. Jim Fletcher is batting .500 for the season.
Another curveball in there for a strike. It seems like the innings Torren can get that ball over, he's been successful. The innings that he's getting it outside and low, he's been struggling.
Torren, excuse me, Tad. Torren had that 1-2-3 inning to start things off in the first inning. Excuse me.
Low and away for a ball. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Roy Price. Price does have a triple on the season and 3 RBIs. So right now, Washington Township in some trouble. We're in the 4th inning. They trail it 9-3. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed for a strike, so going down swinging is Roy Price, and there's 1 down here in the 4th.
And he really caught him with a good, slow breaking curveball. Took a little bit off of it. And I think Price was waiting for some heat to come in there and got way out ahead of that ball.
That'll bring to plate DM Phillips, the second baseman. He walked and scored in the 2nd inning, coming in batting .423. Has 5 doubles and 8 RBIs. There's that curveball again, high and inside for a ball. Can't stress that enough. If you haven't picked up on that yet as a Washington Township batter, that first pitch is a curveball. Here comes the 1-0 pitch from Torren. Line drive down the right field line. It's going to hook foul down that right field line as Farnap is going to have to retrieve it down along the visitors' bleachers.
And that might have been a situation, Tad, where DM Phillips was waiting for that curveball, and Torren came in with something kind of fast, and he was unable to get his bat all the way around and fouled it down the right field line.
They're playing him a little bit the opposite field, not much. Left fielder's fairly well off the line. Salvatore, he's into left center field. Center fielder towards right field. Right fielder Farnath about 30 feet off the line. Ground ball to third baseman Kim. Charges, gets by him. Don't know if that's going to be an infield single, I guess, is holding at first base there. Kim charged it. He tried to get it before it hit the ground, but just waved at it. I'm going to give that an infield single, I think, there for DM Phillips. Known for my charitable scoring here, Sean.
Boy, I'll tell you, you'd have a tough time sitting next to Joe scoring those kind of things. Man.
We'll give him a single. I like to see everybody be successful. That brings to the plate Jim Fletcher.
Let's take a look at it again.
That's a tough play. If he catches it, he probably does make the play. Coach Martin's going to come out and talk to his pitcher, Torren, right now. 1 out in the inning. We're in the 4th. 9-3. East with the lead.
Dave Martin talking about Gloucester Catholic, Tad, and he's an old Gloucester Catholic alum.
I don't
want to give out my age here too much, but I saw him play in high school.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. That's all the
How was he
things
as a
I'm going
player?
to say about
Was
way
he a
back
good
when.
player?
Right? He was a real good ball player. He was a pitcher. And I remember I went to Gloucester Catholic as well, and I had a chance to bat against him in batting practice a few times.
And you took him downtown, right?
Oh, I felt like, what was Willie Starger, one of those guys said when they were batting against Carleton? He said, it's like eating soup with a fork. So I felt like I was doing up there.
Swinging it flies of spaghetti. That's another one I heard. Torren's pitch in there for a called strike. Fletcher coming in this game batting 516 at bats. Off-speed pitch, line to the left field for a base hit. Reaching out and hitting it was Fletcher. Fletcher just kind of stuck the bat out and served that ball out in the left field.
Yes, he did. He just made contact with it and went with it to left field. So Minutemen with runners at first and second now.
Mike Wallace comes to the plate right now. He grounded out to third his one time up today. Batting .400. Has 2 doubles, 1 triple, 7 RBIs. Phillips at second, Fletcher at first. 1 down. We're in the bottom half of the 4th. 9-3. Township trailing this game. kind of a surprise. In there for just missing. Now that was the first time that I can remember that Torn has led off with the fastball, and you could see right there the batter Wallace was kind of caught off guard.
Yeah, he gave a little flinch there, like maybe he was thinking about something, but laid off of it.
1 ball and no strikes. Gets away from the catcher. There could be a play at third. They throw down and in safely. Both runners advance. Phillips down to third. Fletcher down to second. So 2 runners in scoring position right now.
And the Minutemen could really get into the game, back into the game here, scoring a couple of runs.
They have
1 down the inning, have a chance for a decent inning here with Jeff Wood on deck.
They have the top of the lineup up. Wood represents the top of the lineup. 2 balls and no strikes to Mike Wallace. He's a junior. Line drive, base hit down the left field line. That's going to score 2. We'll see if Wallace heads to second. He's going to hold at first base. So Phillips and Fletcher come in and score, and it's now a 9-5 ball game.
That was a clean, hard base hit to left field. No doubt about that. He got all the way around on it. And as you mentioned, D.M. Phillips and Fletcher had an easy opportunity to score, come across the plate with not even the threat of a throw, but give credit to A.J. Salvatore. He made a good play to keep Mike Wallace at first base with a long single.
Jeff Wood now batting with 1 out here in the 4th inning. He's doubled and grounded out to third, batting .300.
There you see a couple of the Minutemen coming across there. Phillips and Fletcher.
1 out, 9-5 is your score. Pickoff play at first in safely is Wallace. This game is far from over here in the bottom of the 4th. 1 out. Another pickoff play in safely as Wallace. East needs a double play ball here.
I have to wonder what's going through Dave Martin's mind right now. He went out to the mound a few moments ago to talk to his pitcher, and he's now giving up 2 runs.
Off-speed pitch low in the dirt.
You have to wonder, Tad, if Dave Martin would be happy to have Torn go 4 or 5 innings.
Well, pitching was their weak point coming into this game. They have many seniors playing in their first year, and it just seems like the coach has said they've had 1 bad inning that kills them. So they may stay with Torn as long as they can. There's a bunt try fouled back off the catcher Dwyer. So far, Torrance had a pretty decent afternoon. He's only struck out 1, has walked 1, given up 6 hits, 3 back-to-back singles, back-to-back-to-back singles technically, in this inning. Wallace not a real big lead at first. Back to first base.
I don't think you're going to see too many stealing attempts again when you're down this much. Base runners are critical.
Somebody just got shot behind us. It's 1 inside for a ball. What the
Actually,
heck was
it's a
that?
track meet going on behind us.
Get out of here. Well, so it was a gun. At least I identified that sound. One out in the 4th. Another pickoff play at first.
Not very strong throws by Torn. Again, just enough to let him know he's thinking about him.
There he goes. Throw down to second base is high. Nice catch there by the second baseman Figaro. So stealing second base is Wallace. For Wallace, that is his 4th stolen base of the season.
Well, like I said, Tad, they're not going to be too aggressive on the base pass because they're down by 4 or 5 runs. So John Bush sends Wallace right on down, and
Well,
That's why
Wallace,
he's the manager for 22 years, and I'm sitting here second guessing.
Wallace, Wood, and Kerner are the three guys that lead in steals on the team. So if Wood gets on, he might take a shot too. High for a ball, walking is Wood. First and second, one out right now.
And you're starting to get the feeling this could be a big inning for the Minutemen.
Leadoff batter Roy Price struck out. D.M. Phillips singled and scored. Fletcher singled and scored. Wallace singled. He stole second. Now walking is Wood. Here's Andy Vicente to the plate. Recently named Mr. Washington Township. He's flown out to center and grounded out to second.
He's going to be majoring in physics and math at Trenton State, and he's hoping to get onto their baseball team.
Good program up there at Trenton State.
In fact, if you're a frequent viewer of sports here on Channel 13, we like to think you are. We'll be watching the Rowan College baseball team next few days.
Off-speed pitch outside for a ball. It's 1-1. There is nobody working in the bullpen for East. That doesn't mean that they're not going to change the pitcher. All that means is maybe the backup pitcher could be on the field playing right now. 1-1 pitch coming from Turin. Ground ball down to first baseman, fielded by Lefevre. Lefevre going to take it himself, and that's his second out of the inning. But the base runners do move up and are in scoring position now.
And that's also the big second out of the inning. Wood is down at second base. Mike Wallace is at third, but guess who's up there that can help his own cause again?
Mike Kerner, the junior, he's flown out to left and doubled in the third. Now Nick, the shortstop's going to talk things over with Turin. They do have a base open if they don't want to pitch to him. They're looking in the dugout to see if they want to pitch to him or not. I think Coach Martin said, yeah, they're going to walk him. That's probably a good move right there.
All right, and that's going to load the bases with 2 outs.
And in high school rules, you don't have to waste the time with the 4 pitches, kind of to speed things up a little bit. That puts a lot of pressure on this young man coming to the plate right now, but he's seen a lot of pressure, I'm sure, over his 4 years here at Washington Township. Tim Huckle, and he's due. He's popped out to the catcher and flown out to center field. 0 for 2 on the day. Coming in today batting .320, 1 home run. Trailing it by 4. He's the tying run with 2 outs. First pitch to him. Inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Tim Huckle represents the tying run. He has 2 RBIs on the season. He's a critical at bat in this game. 1-0 pitch. Ground ball foul down the third base line, fielded by Coach Robinson down at third.
Yeah, he really got out ahead of that ball, too. You could see how anxious he was. And again, one thing that John Bush, not one thing, several things, but one of the things is that I'm sure he's telling them to go up there to have patience. As you mentioned, Turin has been throwing a lot of off-speed stuff and curveballs.
1 ball and 1 strike to Tim Huckle. Off-speed pitch popped in the outfield. Playable. Coming on as the right fielder, Farnath. He's under it and squeezes it for the 3rd out of the inning. So Washington Township threatens, but Churchill East dodges the bullet. As Washington Township leaves the bases loaded, they had 3 hits in the inning. 3 men left on base. We are going to move to the top half of the 5th. Cherry Hill East leads at 9-5, and that was a big at-bat in this game.
Yes, it was. And
coming into this game today, we're going to see Tim Stouse, actually. Oh, it's Tim Stouse, and I'd say Jim, I believe. So Tim now in the game pitching for Washington Township. He's
so
made
Mike Kerner goes 4 innings.
Let's see, in 5 innings pitched, hasn't given up a hit, has a 0 ERA. He's walked 5 and struck out 4. Leading things off for East is Andrew Dwyer. Dwyer struck out and grounded out. Low for a ball, it's 1-0. Now where has Kerner moved in this game?
Kerner is out right now, but he can re-enter.
We'll assume that the outfield stays the same. 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes right now to Andrew Dwyer. the football cornerback, a senior for Cherry Hill East. 2-0 pitch coming to him. In there for a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Andrew Dwyer. We're here in the 5th inning, 9-5. Cherry Hill East with the lead. Two-one pitch. In there for a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dwyer thought it was a little bit low.
Tim Stouse with pretty good looking fastball so far. Tad looks like he's
a big young man.
miles per hour on that ball.
Big young man out there. 2-2 pitch. In there for a called strike 3, and Dwyer is not happy with that at all. Second time he struck out in this game. That'll bring up the leadoff batter in the lineup to the plate, Chris Figaro. Figaro has struck out twice and grounded out to short. Figaro, a good defensive player, has played a lot of positions for Cherry Hill East over the years. Again, he is a sophomore, so a real young guy, can play a lot of positions. Coach says he's a gamer. Outside, 1-0 on the curveball. So Stouse pitching impressively in the 5 innings he's pitched. As we said, struck out 4, has walked 5 though. That one gets away from catcher Price.
Figaro again, one of the sophomores for Dave Martin.
There's 1 out. We're in the 5th inning here on Jones Intercable.
Only 3 starting seniors in this lineup for Cherry Hill East.
3 balls and no strikes right now to Chris Figaro. Sure he'll be taking all the way here. Here's the 3-0 pitch. In there for a called strike, 3-1, and Figaro wasn't happy with that.
Well, looking on the other side of it, in terms of classmen, John Bush only has Andy Vincente as a senior, Tim Huckle senior, and Jim Felice, the other starting senior, so he has everybody else back in his starting lineup.
Line drive into center field. Vicente going back. It goes over his head. Now it bounces in. Vicente slips. And in standing with the double out there is Chris Figaro. Figaro hit the ball fairly well. I thought Vicente had a shot to catch that ball, but somehow misplayed that.
You know, Tad, I think if we get a chance to watch that ball again, it was there, we see it again. It was one of those balls that was kind of going away from Vincente. It was up there, but it was heading towards, right center field. And
outside and low for a ball. I mean, I remember going up against Cherry Hill East, and we used to lose to Easton Township. We used to lose to them in double figures. And I think in '84 when I played, we ended up having like 4 or 5 wins the whole year.
What brought the program around there, do you feel? Anything in particular? Or?
That's a real tough question. It's really tough to say. And walking out there is Kim. They've had their Coach Mitchell for the last 6 years now. And he's been there for some losing seasons. They're just getting a good crop of kids out there now. A lot of times it's just the luck of the draw. So Kim walks. That puts runners at first and second with 1 out. Here's Brian Bennett, the center fielder, to the plate. He's scored twice. He was hit by a pitch. He's also walked and reached base on a fielder's choice. Officially 0 for 1 on the day. Let's see if they put anything on there. He's the 3rd hitter in the lineup from the left side. Stouse's pitch around the bunt. He gets it down the third base line. It's going to roll foul.
Well, he put a nice touch on that, though. He almost was able to keep that fair. It looked like it went just about where he wanted to go.
Coach Martin kind of grimaced down there at third base as that ball was rolling down there. Thought he had a good bunt to start, but just couldn't quite get it in fair ground. Now Coach Martin not really giving any signs as of yet. Now here come the signs. You can kind of see Coach Martin in the background. We'll see if anything's happening here. Down at third base, Huckle's about even with the bag. High and inside.
Well, Stouse started off the inning striking out the leadoff batter, Andrew Dwyer, but he looks like he's beginning to have some control problems here.
Well, as we said, coming in, he had 5 walks and 4 strikeouts. Bennett takes a long look down there. Coach Martin. Around the bunt. Now he's not around the bunt. Swung on and missed. High pitch. That's a tough one to hit. That was up by the eyeballs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brian Bennett. We're here in the top half of the 5th inning. Cherry Hill East leads it 9-5. They had a 5-run first inning. Curveball pop could be playable and could fall. Foul ball. Just missing down that third base line. Missed by about a yard maybe down there. It's a game of inches, as they say.
I almost like to see Dave Martin's replay there. He was in the coaching box and looked like he was dying 1,000 deaths when he saw that ball drop just foul.
He was rooting that one.
He was tasting a couple of runs. 1, maybe 2 runs there if that ball's fair.
Second life for Stouse now on the mound. 1-2 is the count. Second base, Figaro. First base, Kim. Pop foul out of play behind home plate. Almost off a car behind home plate.
It might have got it on the 3rd hop. What a program Washington Township's had this year, athletic program. Joe and I have remarked about it several times during the past year.
Oh, they have a shot at third base. They're going to have a rundown. Figaro's in a rundown. He knew he was a dead duck. Wisely got in a rundown. Now he's tug out. He heads to third. Real nice play by the catcher, Roy Price. He stayed low. The ball bounced up right into his glove, but a real nice recovery by Price.
And if we get a chance to see that again, Tad, it looked like the ball bounced off the batter, Brian Bennett.
A nice job by Price to stay in front of that.
And again, it might have just been from our angle.
Let's give Figaro some credit, too. He realized he was a dead duck at third and got in the rundown.
There it is again.
Off the batter.
It did roll up onto his shoulder. And Price played it beautifully, as you mentioned. Got it right down to Tim Huckle, and there you see the ensuing rundown.
That was a big out in this game. The pitch. Low for a ball. So Kim hangs in there. Full count. Actually, that's Bennett hangs in there. Kim's at second base. Line drive hit well into center field. Vicente retreating. He's under it and squeezes it for the 3rd out of the inning. So no damage done. There was 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We're going to go into the home half of the 5th inning. 9-5, Cherry Hill East with the lead. First batter here is Barbara. Barbara Jr. takes one in there for a called strike. This is your life, Tad K. I feel like I've just gone through. Barbara has singled and grounded out to first.
He's talking about John Kruk there.
There's a line drive down the left field line. We'll see if it stays fair. Fair or foul? Foul balls. It had a shot to be a home run, but went foul by about 5 to 10 feet down that left field line.
He definitely had some distance on that, but it was spinning foul. Had a wicked slice on it.
Barber batting .333. 5 singles, 2 triples, 4 RBIs. He's walked 7 times.
Talking about John Kruk just a minute ago, and just last night's game, Ricky Jordan. John Kruk's been injured for the Phillies now, and Ricky Jordan stepped right in and had 1 heck of a game last night.
He's been impressive. That's what it takes when you're winning. People just step in and they take over, help carry the team. Inside for a ball, just missing inside. Turin wanted that one.
Township continues to need base runners.
They still play Barber to pull, though. They're way over towards right field. Outside for a ball. Left fielder's way over. Center field's partially over, and right field over towards the line. So they didn't buy that last foul ball down that left field line. .3-1 pitch. In there for, that's a 3-2 pitch actually, in there for a called strike. Barbara goes down looking for the first out of the inning. Real nice pitch on the off-speed curveball there. Here's Roy Price to the plate. Roy, a junior, he's flown out to left and struck out.
Tad, again, we were talking a minute ago about the sports program here. This past year has just been phenomenally successful for Washington Township. Boys, of course, were South Jersey Group 4 champs. The girls, South Jersey Group 4 champs in basketball. Boys basketball, Went to the second round of the playoffs.
And I'm sure they expect that to carry over this baseball season, too.
Baseball team, as we've mentioned.
Gets away from the catcher.
Standing at 6-1 right now, but in trouble to.
Well, they still have
turn things around here.
They still have 8 more outs to play with here. 2 balls and no strikes to Roy Price. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning. East with the lead 9-5. Barry Turin started this game. He's still in. Inside, 3 balls and no strikes to Roy Price.
A very obvious green light here, perhaps?
I'm looking for base runners if I'm Washington Township. I'd let one go here. You got the 5th guy, 6th guy in the lineup. I'd have to watch one myself. We'll see what happens. Down the middle for a called strike. And when you're trailing by 4 runs, you need base runners any way you can get them. Now, even here, he can still be choosy here if he wants. He can pick a pitch in the zone and go for it. Line drive right at the third baseman, Kim. What a great play. It was stung down at third by Price, but right at David Kim. What a great grab at third base.
And what a jump. With that kind of a hit, you have to see that ball right off the bat, and Kim did just that. He saw it immediately. Let's look at it again. There you see it.
Great shot of that right there.
Good reaction by David Kim.
With 2 outs here in the 5th, that'll bring up D.M. Phillips, a junior. He's walked and scored and singled and scored. Low for a ball. It's 1-0 to Phillips.
Tab, looking at this lineup, again, they're going to have maybe one more opportunity for the top of the lineup to get around again. But the middle of the lineup right here, Gary Barber, starting off this inning, being the 5th batter, Roy Price and D.M. Phillips. Love to get something out of them, but right now it's just been 1 up, 2 up, and 2 down here in the 5th.
Phillips back in the box. 2 down. Turns wind up in the pitch. Low and outside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes to D.M. Phillips. Low and outside, ball 4. So Phillips draws the free pass. Phillips, that's his 2nd walk in the game. He has scored twice. Now there's going to be a conference on the mound. It's a case now you've got 2 outs. You want to make sure you get this 3rd one without any damage coming in.
And Cherry Hill has someone warming up in their bullpen now. Just beginning to throw the ball around.
I believe that's Kevin Abrams, number 18. And that'll bring the plate right now Jim Fletcher. He's a senior, has a single and an RBI and a single and a run scored, 2 for 2. Now and inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Torn has gone all the way. Barry Torn for Cherry Hill East. His team spotted him a 5-run lead in the 1st inning.
Popped up in front of the East dugout, running out of room there is catcher Andrew Dwyer. Dwyer almost had a shot at it, but ran out of room. So Flecka is going to get second life. Batting .500. He has 8 singles, 1 RBI, 9 runs scored. Two outs here in the 5th. Pickoff play. Diving in safely, Phillips.
Boy, I just can't get over the conditions today for baseball, Ted. I mean, we have done some games. I know you've done several baseball games this spring. I haven't done too many, but it just seems like
A runner stealing, he'll make it in standing up as Stealing Phillips. I know what you're getting at. This is by far the nicest day we've had for announcing. Not a breeze.
I seem to get
comfortable.
those blizzard conditions, spring day kind of games where 4th, 5th inning we get some monsoons blowing in. Or
very, very pleasant day here in Washington Township today. From the stretch now is Torin. Line drive right at Kim for the 3rd out of the inning. So it was a carbon copy of Roy Price's hit, and East dodges another one as they go down 1, 2, 3, technically 4 batters in that inning. We get ready for action in the top of the 6th. As we said, DeNick will lead things off. He's tripled and had an RBI and scored, was hit by a pitch and scored, and reached base on a fielder's choice. High inside for a ball to him, 1-0. Guy that loves to get dirty. As you can see, his uniform is dirty right now. Says he hardly goes through a game without dirtying his uniform. Ground ball down to 3rd. That's Huckle. Huckle is handcuffed on it, and that'll be an error by the 3rd baseman, Tim Huckle. Huckle elected to back up on the ball and play for the big hop, and it handcuffed him.
And I was just going to say, Tad, second guessing here, but actually if Tim could replay that, I think he'd almost like to take his first step up on that ball instead of backing up as he just did. But of course, once you started, you had to continue with your motion.
So DeNick is on first base, nobody out. Ed Kemp's to the plate, takes a long look at Coach Martin right now. We'll see if anything's on. He is the 6th hitter, or 5th hitter, excuse me, in the lineup. He is around to bunt, foul, tips it. Kemps was the man who struck out for the 3rd out in the 1st, but of course you have to throw him out at first. They could not do that. He eventually scored. The next 2 men behind him scored. That was a big break for East in this game. He's also doubled, has 2 RBIs, and reached base on a fielder's choice as he talks things over with the coach right now. That's been a big, big play in this game.
John Bush in the dugout still yelling out to his team, trying to keep them pumped up here. Pivotal point in the game, 6th inning, they have 2 chances left. And they've got to try to stop Cherry Hill East here. Can't let them have any more runs.
0-1 pitch popped up into center field. Vicente coming on. He calls it, has plenty of room, and squeezes it for the 1st out of the inning. So 1 down here in the 6th. And still at first base, Mark DeNick. Here's Matt Lefevre to the plate. Matt has singled and scored, grounded out, and reached base on an error. So Lefevre gets in the box. He has a chance to do some damage here. There's 1 out in the inning. DeNick on at first. So we said 1 out. Relief pitcher Tim Stouse on the mound. DeNick not with a real big lead. Low and outside for a ball, 1-0. We're coming to you from Washington Township High School. I'm Tad Kozaneski along with Sean O'Hara here on Jones Intercable Channel 13. High and inside for a ball. Stouse has definitely been struggling out there.
Yeah, they're yelling, the coaches are yelling from the dugout for him to concentrate. I guess they feel that he's starting to lose his concentration a little bit out there. Stouse came in relief of starter Mike Kerner, who went 4 complete innings.
Ground ball could get him out of this inning if they can swing a double play. Lefevre steps out of the box. Now he's set. On the outside corner for a called strike.
And that's just what he needed right there, too. Yeah, Mark DeNick ground out, but again, that's the one that Tim Huckle was unable to hold on to.
There goes DeNick, line drive up the middle, sinking, and a base hit is not being able to catch up with his Vicente. If Vicente catches that ball, DeNick is dead to rights because he was already standing on second base. So a hit and run is successful. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Ted Farnath.
And again, Andy Vicente, a tough ball to try to make an instant judgment on there. There you see him coming in there.
There's a pinch runner coming in to run, will be number 10 for Cherry Hill East. That's Matt Strages. Strages is a sophomore, 5'10", 150. So Strage is in the game right now for Lefevre. We'll see if Lefevre comes back in to play first base. Farnath in this game thus far has walked and scored, grounded out to first, and walked. Now looking down at Coach Martin is Farnath. We'll see if anything's on here. There's one out, runners at first and second. East with the lead, 9-5. Huckle even with the bag at third. High and inside for a ball, 1-0. Stouse has really been high on some pitches today.
Yes, he has. He's really been getting it up this inning especially.
Ted Farnath, a lover of heavy metal music. Says he can't get enough of it. High and outside for a ball, 2-0. I thought you were going to hum a tune for me there or something. That was your cue. Nah, I wish I could, but I'm not going to embarrass myself here. I'm sure Joe would love to jump in, but... And Farnath had some experience with the varsity team last year. As we said, not a lot of the starters this year have played a lot of varsity ball. There's a pop-up into center field. Vicente on it. Looks like tagging second base is DeNick. DeNick will tag on the catch. Here's a play down to third. It's cut off. The relay not in time, as tagging and going to third base is Mark DeNick.
And that was one of those judgments that were made by Jeff Wood to cut the ball off. I don't know if he was intending to have that throw go through or not. Let's take a look at it again and see. Vincente's throw.
Well, they say in studies taken, it's a split second quicker if you just let the ball go through.
And that's, I mean, we were sitting here and had a pretty good position.
Lefevre off first. He holds. There's a pop-up in the infield, playable. First baseman Barbara. He's under it and squeezes it for the third out of the inning. So East threatens again, but leaves two more men on base. They've now left 7 men on base in this game. We get set for the bottom half of the 6th inning. 9-5. Cherry Hill East with the lead.
And the Minutemen real happy to get out of that inning again, teetering on.
It's going to lead off. He's grounded out to third and singled in 2 runs in the 4th. Low and outside for a ball to him, 1-0. Township down to 6 outs in this game. They trail at 9-5. It's been all Barry Turin. 3-year starter, a senior on the mound for Cherry Hill East. The 1-0 pitch. Inside for a ball, it's 2-0.
And the team trying to whip up some enthusiasm again, opening it up from the dugout. They realize their opportunities are diminishing here unless they can get something going.
2-0 pitch. Low and outside, 3-0. Wallace batting .400. He has 7 RBIs, 1 triple, 2 doubles, and 5 singles.
Nobody's warming up right now for Cherry Hill East.
Well, keep in mind, a lot of times with these high school teams, they don't have a lot of guys on the bench. They may have their relief pitcher out on the field right now. They did have somebody warming up. That was Kevin Abrams last inning. So we'll see what happens. 3 balls and no strikes, the leadoff man, Mike Wallace. High and inside, ball 4, so Wallace draws a walk, and Washington Township is in some business here in the 6th.
That's just what you want to do, of course, any inning, but especially now if you can get that leadoff base runner on to start things off. There you see a shot of Wallace down at first base.
Here's Jeff Wood to the plate, and he's might not even get a chance to face Barry Turin as Coach Martin is out of the dugout, walking awfully slow. We'll see if there's going to be a pitching change here. So the runner on first base is Wallace. Jeff Wood to the plate, has grounded out, doubled and scored and walked. DeNick's first pitch to him. In there for a called strike, 0-1. If you're DeNick, you just got to throw some strikes now. You still got a 4-run lead.
But this is the top of the order here, and it's obviously the part of the lineup you like to produce some action here.
Line drive, base hit into center field. Bennett picks it up. Holding at second base is Wallace. So the first 2 runners of the inning are on. Nobody out. Washington Township beginning to rally here in the 6th.
And a clean base hit up the middle for Jeff Wood. Again, top of the order.
There it is again, taken right up that middle. Here's Andy Vicente to the plate. Andy's had a good day yesterday. He was named Mr. Washington Township. He's flown out to center field, grounded out to second, and grounded out to first. No outs in the inning. Runners at first and second. Township trails by 4. Low and inside for a ball, 1-0. 1 ball and no strikes as Township starting to get into it.
John Bush yelling out to Vicente, don't try to do it all yourself, meaning you don't feel like you have to put it out of the park. Just try to make contact.
Outside for a ball, 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes to Andy Vicente.
Mark Danick wants to take a step off the mound. Again, as you mentioned, Tad, he's not a guy that's just been sitting down, but he's played the whole game.
He's a
He was
senior.
at shortstop for the Cougars.
Senior, 6 foot 175 is Danick. 2 balls and no strikes to Andy Vicente. In there for a called strike, 2-1. Looks down at Robinson at third. Nothing's on. We'll see if he's going to get a good cut at this one. Back in time at second base there, Wallace, no throw.
Tad, what was the last Coach Robinson? Just a second here after this pitch. Got a question for you.
2-1 pitch, high and inside, 3-1.
Coach Robinson was a Double-A team, I believe. Was it Shreveport, Louisiana? It was a team in Louisiana, I believe.
Uh-huh. And I thought they had a Triple-A opening.
And I thought they had a fairly good season for him down there.
They did really well. Like I said, once this is based off memory, I don't have any facts in front of me. That's why he's not with them anymore. He felt like he was overlooked. And there's ball 4. The bases are now loaded, and they're loaded for the hot man on this Washington Township team. If there was one man you didn't want up in this situation, it's Mike Kerner.
You almost couldn't write the script at this point. Mike Kerner up there, as you mentioned, with the bases loaded.
Kerner has flown out to left, doubled and walked. Kerner coming off a 3-home run game, 3 home runs consecutively, 1 to left, 1 to center, 1 to right. He's been intentionally walked in this game, his last at bat. Also made a great diving catch. He is the tying run in this game as we're in the 6th. Nobody out. Some pressure on Mark Danick.
And you have to really be impressed with Mike Kerner's ability to swing the bat, because when you look at his particular body build, he's not extremely muscular in any way. He's not real stocky or just, super big body, so to speak, but really has it down in terms of technique and he's being able to hit the way he's been hitting.
5'11", 170, bench presses 265, squats 400, and lifts 600 pounds in a deadlift.
And yet to look at him, Tad, there's not a lot of bulk on that guy.
Pitch to him. In there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to Mike Kerner.
Nobody out here.
Leads South Jersey in home runs with 7. So he said he does have a grand slam. He had a home run to help win the game over Cherokee on April 6th. Popped up into left field. It's playable for the left fielder Salvatore. Squeezes it, tagging at third base. Down there is Wallace. Throw to the plate is cut off. So scoring on the play is Mike Wallace, and it's now a 9-6 ball game.
And actually, I know he would have loved to have had that swing back, because he took a swing at a bad pitch. It was a high pitch, and he went after it and popped it up out there to left field, but still able to get a run, and again, chipping away a little bit more here.
East will take that one in a heartbeat, too. Dangerous hitter like that coming into this game was hitting, I believe, was 676. 630 is what he was hitting exactly. Here's Huckle to the plate. Huckle, first and second, 1 out. A ground ball can get East out of the inning. Township looking for big things, though. Runner going down to third. Here's the throw down to third. It's high and late. Stealing third base is Jeff Wood.
Actually, a double steal as Vicente ends up down at second base as well on that. So the Minutemen keeping the pressure on here with runners now at second and third.
Tim Huckle is the tying run in this game.
Base hit with a chance to bring both runs in now.
Huckle has never played JV.
Tim's having a tough day today, 0 for 3. He's popped up all 3 times.
Has over 1,000 on his SATs, one of the youngest seniors ever at Washington Township High School. In there for a called strike. Might have been a little bit low and outside, but he takes it for a strike.
Yeah, I might agree with Tim on that one, too. It looked kind of low and outside from here.
2 runners in scoring position. Huckle's the tying run. 1 out. 6th inning. Stepping off the mound is DeNick. On deck, Gary Barbara. In there for a called strike.
No doubt about that one.
Yeah, Huckle wasn't happy with that call either.
Well,
might be a little upset at himself, though.
I believe so, because that looked like it was a pretty good pitch.
Has 2 strikes to him. Got to be ready for anything here. DeNick shakes off 3 signs. Now he's ready. 0-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. That ball has eyes. Cut off. 1 run's going to score. They're going to send another run to the plate. Vicente's going to score, and it's now a 9-8 ball game.
Tim Huckle stayed right with that, hit it right up the middle.
A seeing eye single.
It definitely was, but Tim Huckle with a real clutch base hit there and able to drive in 2 runs. So the Minutemen have scored 3 runs here in the 6th inning and still only 1 down.
As we said earlier, they're one of the leading teams in South Jersey. You're putting runs on the board, averaging well over 10 runs a game. 9-8 is your score. It's a 1-run game, tying run at first in the form of Tim Huckle. Gary Barber to the plate. He has 1 single, a strikeout, and a ground out. Barber hitting .333, 5 singles, 2 triples, 4 RBIs. Bunt down, fielded by pitcher DeNick. Goes to second base. Out at second base. Originally, the umpire seemed to signal safe, but out at second base as Huckle was gunned down. That was a gutsy play there by DeNick.
It sure was. And if he could have got that bunt over a little bit, if unfortunately it went right back to DeNick, the pitcher's mound there, but if he could have got that bunt away just a little bit to either side, they might have been successful with it.
That's a good point, too. Had he not bunted that straight back to the pitcher, that would have been a real tough play at second. So Barber on base on the fielder's choice. Here's Roy Price. He's flown out, struck out, and popped out. 0 for 3. Back in safe at first base is Barbara. It's a 1-run game in the 6th. High and outside for a ball. That was a borderline pitch. Washington Township coming back. They've scored 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 4th, 3 in the 6th. Pickoff play at first in safe. East has put 5 in the 1st, 3 in the 2nd, and 1 in the 4th.
And again, as you went through that recap, at one point in the bottom of the 2nd, coming to bat, the Minutemen trailed this game 8-0.
Stepping off again is DeNick. Tying run at first base again in the form of Gary Barbara. Big lead, he holds. That was a balk called right there. Called by the home plate umpire, so moving up into scoring position is Barbara on the balk. I don't know if we're going to get a look at that or not again. Now here comes Coach Martin to talk about what went wrong with that one. He said he came down, brought it back up, kind of faked out. Are we going to get a shot of this or not? Here it is. Let's watch, see what the pitcher does. I guess they're saying he didn't come to a stop. That's the only thing I could come up with there. All right, that's Joe Vasali says he didn't stop, so it's hard for us to see on our monitor here, but Joe, with that camera you're looking at, that view right now, says he did not stop on the mound, so that was a good call there. Pickoff play, daylight play, safe in at second base is Barbara.
And when that move first started, it looked like they may have had a play there at second base, but Barbara able to get back.
9-8.
Tying run at second base for the Minutemen. And still only 1 down in the inning.
Curveball swung on and missed. That was a good swinging there by Price. They had that daylight play on again. Abrams, the shortstop, got caught right on top of second base. That's the 2nd time that's happened to East in this game. Mark Danick in relief of Barry Turin. Pick-off play, no one there again. Playing some mind games with Barbara out there.
And he can't be too careless out there either. Represents a very important run for the Minutemen right now.
Swung on and missed for a strike. Way out in front of that is catcher Roy Price.
And again, Danick is taking something off that ball too, Tad, because Price, as you just mentioned, is really getting out ahead of that ball.
He was a mile in front of that one. Roy Price can knock in the tying run. It was 8-0. It's now 9-8. East with the lead. Low for a ball. Trying to advance down there is Barbara. Throw it into left field, and this game is going to be tied at 9. Catcher Andrew Dwyer tried to rush that ball, threw it into left field. That clears the bench for Washington Township. It's a brand new game, all tied at 9.
What a break for the Minutemen. Gary Barbara, again, they were working on him down at second base. Let's take a look at it again. There's a throw way out into left field. No doubt about it, Barbara is able to walk home to score. And this game is tied after the Minutemen trailed it 8-0. We're tied at 9. And still only one down in this inning.
I have 2 down here. We had that force out at second base.
I beg your pardon, you're right. 2 down.
So there is 2. Full count right now to Roy Price. Cherry Hill East, you can see they're really down now. They had one of the top teams in South Jersey with an 8-0 deficit, and they've given it back. A lot of credit to Township here. A lot of hits. There's a swung on and missed strike 3, but the damage was done. 4 runs on 2 hits. Nobody left on base. It's a brand new game as we go the top half of the 7th. Cherry Hill East 9, Washington Township 9. Andrew Dwyer has struck out twice and grounded out, a senior. Trying to work on his consistency, really smoking the ball up there is Malco. Malco's been the hardest thrower of the day thus far. There's Dwyer. 5'11", 180. In there for a called strike. 1-1. If Dwyer can get on, he has the top of the lineup behind him. I've got a feeling about this one. The last game I did was that Edgewood Overbrook game that went on forever.
Jeez, why didn't they tell me you did that game? I knew we're going to be here till tomorrow now, huh?
2 balls and 1 strike to Andrew Dwyer. Yeah, that game was over 4 hours on tape. We got out of here. The game started 3:30. We ended up getting out about 7:45. There's a line drive into left field. Wallace chasing. Wallace, now he doesn't make the catch. It's down. Going into second base, standing with the double is Andrew Dwyer. It was hard for us to see at home plate because we were screened by the catcher and the third baseman, but a nice effort by Wallace in left field.
Mike Wallace gave it his best shot. Let's take a look at it again. Dwyer gets around on that. Well hit ball to left field. Wallace may have had a shot at it. He gave it a dive, but unable to pull it in.
And there you see him in standing with the double. So we'll see if East goes for 1 run or see if they're going to play for the big inning. Pinch running now will be Sean Brooks. So Brooks will now run at second. He's 5'8", 140, a sophomore. So the game riding in the hands of a lot of sophomores right now.
And the top of the order for the Cougars.
Brooks, pinch running for Dwyer.
There you see Chris Figaro. Figaro struck out twice, doubled, and grounded out. He's got a good arm and a good glove. He's played pretty well in today's game at second base. He's got a runner in scoring position. We're in the 7th inning, tied at 9. East is the visiting team, so West will get last at bat. Brooks takes his lead. Around the bunt. Beautiful bunt down. Fielded by the first baseman, Kerner. 1 play to first. The sacrifice is good by Figaro.
Laid that, you can emphasize that, a beautiful bunt by Figaro. Did exactly what he had to do. Coach Dave Martin is playing for the go-ahead run here very obviously, and he does just that. as Brooks is down at third base now with 1 out.
And if you're Cherry Hill East, this is the man you want coming up to the plate. The man with the best power on the team swings a real good bat. This is David Kim. He's flown out to center, hit a home run and scored, singled and scored, and walked. 9-9. Lead run down at third base. 1 out. Pitch to Kim. Low in the dirt, a real nice block by Price.
And Price wants to certainly make sure that he keeps everything in front of him now.
Pressure's on. This is what it's all about right here in the 7th. This is the last inning of high school ball unless we go extra innings. On the outside corner for a called strike. As I said, Kim has some real good power. He can definitely get the ball over the infield's head. The infield is up. First is up, second's up. Shortstop Wood is playing a little bit beyond even with the bag. Lowe gets away from the catcher. Here comes Brooks to the plate. Brooks going to slide in, and East takes the lead 10-9.
Just talking a moment ago, Roy Price, one thing he had to try to do is keep that ball in front of him. That time, Malco skipped the ball up there, and Roy was unable to keep it in front of him.
Talk about shooting yourself in the back. You come back from an 8-0 deficit, tie the game, and the first batter in the next inning gets a double. There's that wild pitch again. And there you see the catcher trying to catch it. It was no throw at all. And the dangerous batter, David Kim, back in the box. Line drive into right center field. It could fall. It's got open space, and it does fall as it gets by the right fielder. Heading into second base is Kim, and he's going to stand in with a stand-up double. So Cherry Hill East, all of a sudden, coming out of the gate with back-to-back doubles. After actually a double, then a sacrifice and a double. Really impressed. David Kim has impressed me this year. Keep an eye on that young man.
Well, not only power, you've talked about his bat speed and what he's been able to do at bat, but again, we've seen him at third base. Literally cherry picking a couple of real fast line drives. If we take a look at his replay here of his hit to right center.
That was
he's also
almost
done very well at third base today.
Yeah, that was almost misplayed by the right fielder, too. Here's Bennett to the plate. Brian Bennett was hit by a pitch and scored, walked and scored, reached base in the fielder's choice, and is flown out to center. 1 out in the 7th. East with a 10-9 lead. Low in the dirt. Nice stop by Price. Price has really been challenged out here today by the pitching staff. 10-9. East with the lead. Shortstop trying to straighten things out. Wood. There you see Kim at second base. East ahead by 1. In there for a called strike. Real nice pitch there by Malco.
Malco coming in relief of Tim Strauss, who came in relief of Mike Kerner. Mike Kerner pitched 4 innings.
Malco from the stretch. Swung on a low pitch there. I really surprised Bennett offered it that one.
Yeah, you had to really take a golf swing to try to hit that and missed it.
Bennett, the center fielder, a junior, member of the American Legion team. Kim at second, 1 out. Low and inside for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Brian Bennett.
And of course the Cougars, Dave Martin would love to get a couple of insurance runs here if he could.
From the stretch, 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Bennett goes down swinging for the 2nd out of the inning.
And that is a big out in the inning, too, as Malco strikes out Bennett, but still has 1 runner on base to contend with.
That's
trying to get out of this without any more damage.
That's the pitcher, Mark Danick. He's a relief pitcher in this game. He's tripled in a run in the 1st and scored. Was hit by a pitch and scored. Reached base in a fielder's choice and reached base on an error. He's a senior. Hit .312 last year. Foul off his foot. A good call. Real nice call by the home plate umpire. Sure you could see that clearly at home, too, as it went off his foot there.
Doesn't seem to have bothered him too much, but boy, they can be painful.
Shake that one off.
Especially if it's on the inside ankle.
As I mentioned earlier, he loves to get dirty. Now they're going to talk things over as he walks around. Coach is talking things around down there. They're going to let now Martin getting set to go back in the box. 1 strike to Mark Danick. He's the captain of the varsity swimming team, also plays soccer. Gotta be a good athlete to be a swimmer on a competitive level. It's tough to do. Off-speed pitch in there for a called strike.
Cherry Hill really has some excellent swimming programs over in that area. Large school system, a real good school system.
Yeah, we at Paul Six used to say they swimming pools on the 3rd floor. There is no 3rd floor, so. Line drive down to 3rd, 1 hop, knocked down by Huckle. Has no play, goes back to 2nd and picked off at 2nd base. David Kim, kind of a mental error down there at 2nd base. Kim thought the ball might go through, and he held between 2nd and 3rd, and he gets picked off at 2nd base. That's a big out in this game.
That was a real...
So this is it. Washington Township needs a run to tie, 2 to win the game. Here's the windup by Danick in the first pitch. In there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to DM Phillips. Actually, this is DM Phillips.
And this game probably near the end, if this game finishes, the bottom of this inning is approaching 3 hours long.
No swing there. It's 1-1. See what Township is made of here. It's a character builder today. Coming back, trailing at 8-0. They now trail at 10-9. Low for a ball. It's 2-1. Danick's got to throw strikes. Doesn't want to beat himself out there. Got to make the other team beat you.
Always like to get that leadoff hitter out, too.
2-1 pitch. Ground ball, nub right back to the pitcher. Danick gloves, throws to first, and there's 1 down in the 7th. It was cued off the end of the bat, and Danick was on it off a kind of weird hop and got the out.
And the way that ball bounced, you just mentioned, Tad, it was a weird hop. And give Danick a lot of credit because he watched that ball all the way into his glove. Let's take a look at it again.
Right there, it cued up on him.
And he did that, watched it all the way into his glove because that's tough sometimes when you're real close to the action. The base runner's halfway down.
I believe we're going to have a pinch hitter here, number 3 coming in. See, we have listed as number 3. Okay, this is Fleckia. I'm sorry, I misread my program. Fleckia, I believe in. Yeah, I'll never get that. I apologize to Jim out there. He has singled twice in this game, scored once, has an RBI. He's officially 2 for 3 in this game. 1 out in the 7th. Low for a ball outside. Township down to their last 2 outs. 1 ball and 1 strike to Jim Fletcher.
Mike Wallace in the on-deck circle, so far he's going to... Alan Bush is going to stay with him to bat.
Outside and low, 2 balls and 1 strike to Jim Fletcher. (10-9), East with the lead by 1, trying to pull the upset. They've only won 2 games this year, looking for number 3. Ground ball down to third baseman Kim. He gloves, long throw to first base. In plenty of time. There's 2 outs here in the 7th.
Again, another good display of ball handling by David Kim down there at third base. Hard ground ball, stayed right with it, and a good strong throw. And we're 2 down.
There you see it again. Kim holds his ground. Kim's played a solid game at third base. He's done a real nice job. Washington Township down to their last out in the form of Mike Wallace. Mike has walked and scored, singled in 2 runs and grounded out to third. First pitch to him, curveball low and outside, 1-0. 1 out to go. One and 0. Township needs a run to tie. Last inning, curveball in the corner. It's 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch to Wallace. Popped into center field. This could be the game. Bennett comes on and squeezes it. Cherry Hill East has upset Washington Township by a score of 10-9. Mark Danick is going to get the win in this game, and you got to credit both teams. Township down 8-0, comes back and ties it. Next inning, East comes back, gets a run to win it.
That's right. In fact, especially Cherry Lee's coming back to win it because the momentum seemed to be going towards Washington Township as the game progressed. Again, East jumped out to that 8-0 lead, and very gradually Township chipped away at that lead and coming back to tie it in the home half of the 6th inning. But give Cherry Lee's Cougars a lot of credit. Came back with that go-ahead run in the 7th inning and able to hold on here for the victory.
So Washington Township drops to 6-2. Cherry Hill East raises their record to 3-7. For all of us here on Jones Intercable Channel 13, have a great evening, everybody. For Sean O'Hara, I'm Tad Kozaneski. We'll talk to you next time here on Jones Intercable Channel 13.